Everyone, welcome back. Well, here we are sailing into week 6 of Voyage 12. How's everyone doing today? I hope everyone is doing well. And this week for week 6, we have 6 octopuses joining us. Once again, the total for our Voyage 12 is $9,200 is what we plan to pay off. That includes a vet bill for $200, a furnace repair bill for $780, and then a balance transfer on Discover One for $8,220, totaling that $9,200. And we're expecting this to take us 12 weeks, so we are halfway done with the voyage. So the first one is line of credit 1. We did start with a balance of $11,131.41. We put in a paycheck for $2,088.53 and then took out $1,873.86 to pay bills and other items. Currently available is $1,083.26. And then of those items, there was $93.92 that was paid on a gas bill. We have the mortgage for $762, loan 1 for $192. We took out cash for $75, put $20 in savings, and then we had a deposit of $945.61 to line of credit because I think I started off with paying stuff out of the checking account, then I put the rest of the check in the line of credit, then took out that $685 for that Discover One payment. And this is more of a breakdown. So we start off with checking having $0. We did do a transfer from savings of $94 to pay the gas bill for $93.92. We had the paycheck for $2,088.53 came in, giving a balance of $2,088.61. We then put that $94 back into savings that we took out for paying the gas bill. So that was $1,994.61. And then we had money for the mortgage that came out of this checking to be paid, and it was paid via the Visa, but we had to run it through the checking account. And same with loan 1 for $192 came out of this checking account, giving us a balance of $1,040.61. We also did the cash of $75, giving us $965.61. And then after 20 going into savings, we had $945.61. So then we put that $945.61 into the line of credit 1, giving us a zero balance. And then on May 2nd, we took that $685 for the Discover One out of that line of credit 1. And then for the Visa, we start off with $4,825.05. We took out the $762 for the mortgage and put it into the checking account. We had 2 payments of $685 in that Visa as holding the balance down. So I did $685.01 and $685.02. That way we knew that those were the payments that came out for the Discover One. That leaves Visa with $6,957.08. So available is now $42.92. And currently the Visa now has a minimum payment of $96.65. That tiny revolving credit, we did nothing with it this week. It's still at a balance of $424.08 with $75.92 being available. And then that minimum payment is $25 due at the end of the month. And we did have a few items that we put on the credit card. We did do some gas for $36.83 and some groceries for $137.71. And so City is now at $916.26. And then the American Express, we put $37.08 of gas on there, so we're at $509.12. And then at Target, we got some laundry soap and a few other household items, and it came to $44.71. So now that's at $89.21. And then for week 6, we take out that $685. So now we have $4,110 due on that balance transfer. And then I have not done anything with the payments for the furnace or the vet this week, so I was thinking about doubling up the vet one, or actually paying this off on the Citibank, because there's $70 is what the minimum payment is on that Citibank. So I'm thinking about doing that for next week, taking out the $115 and applying it towards that and paying that off. So then, oh yes, then on the side we just have $685 then. We'll just do a 0 and a 0 for now. Alright, and then on our credit available, since we took money out of Visa to pay back the Discover One that we had put the payment parking on, we now have $42.92 available on Visa. The Citibank has $11,870 available. Discover 2 has $10,366 available. And then Discover One now has $7,570. So then last time we had $29,925.95 available. So now we have $29,848.92. And the difference would be the interest, I believe that was on the Visa. So we'll go into the captain's log. So we did just the 685 this week. So then we're down to 4,680 remaining on the Voyage. Paid so far is 4,520. So we're almost halfway there, minus that furnace and the vet bill, which we'll do a change on that next week. So we're at 50,104.87. Add 685. We have paid off 50,789.87. And then since I still have a little bit of time, I did get the monthly one done. So I'm just going to go ahead and just incorporate that with this video as well. So for the month of April, we had Discover One start off at $8,220, and then we did get $2,055 paid down on that, and that matures on June 13th. We had Discover 2 start at $8,300. The payment was $166. We just did a minimum payment on that, bringing that down to $8,134. And then this is part of Discover One. That's just another balance transfer on that one, so there was nothing applied to that since it all goes to that first balance transfer. And then we had Citibank, where the payment is $100, and I think we just did a partial payment on that for $50, and that is due on December 1st. And then the other Discover One is this bottom one, so that will, after we pay off this one, then it'll transfer all the funds to that one, and then it'll go down to that one. And then we had the Visa at the end of April. We had that balance of $4,825.05, and it went down $443.81. So we're trying to keep this at $4,900 or lower when it cycles out at the end of the month. That way our credit ratio is a lot lower on that, and then we can get our credit score to keep going down. And then we just had basic payments on student loan A, where that got reduced by $48.72. Student loan B went down by $75.30. We had loan 1 that was reduced by $152.37. Loan 2 by $100. Mortgage went down by $174.09. And then we did an escrow payment of $445.71. And then for the lines of credit, we had line of credit 1 went down by $541.27. Line of credit 2 by $17.40. Line of credit 3 by $20.42. And then in the tiny revolving credit, we must have done a payment on something that month, but it increased by $37.88. And then we had our bills where electric was paid by Visa for $82.05. Gas was paid by Visa for $183.85. And this should start reducing because now that winter's over. We had water bill paid on American Express for $110.29. The trash bill got paid by Citibank for $80. And then this will get reduced also because I did go ahead and take off that recycling component, so it's just going to be trash only and not trash and recycling. So that will be reduced by maybe around $20. We'll see for sure. And then we have Netflix on American Express for $19.29. YouTube went on Citibank for $24.65. We had a total of $603.87 for groceries on Citibank. Car gas was mostly on Citibank for $205.32. We had car insurance paid via the checking for $157.55. We had 2 phone bills, one for Citibank for $25, the other on American Express for $30. And then we had the internet on an American Express for $82. So we had $3,787.66 of minimum payments, and then complete debt that got reduced was $4,252.21. So please let me know if you have any questions or comments. Please like and subscribe to follow my debt journey, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.